and I liked it. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Hey everyone, hey, what's up, what's good? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to Story Times with Renee. My name will be changing soon, I just don't know when. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another story time today. Before I start anything, you know what to do. Like and subscribe to my channel. And when I am done or right now, just comment anything. Do not forget to like and subscribe, comment. Super easy. Tappies. You know, come on, show your girl some love. Today I have another story time for you guys. Pretty much, you know, I feel like it's the best time to tell this story because it's Pride Month. So, you know, I think it's just, you know, the perfect time to talk about it. This story took place pretty much back when I was 19 years old for my 19th birthday. So me and my girl Bubbly at the time, after high school, I swear, I left high school with like one friend. Like, you know, it's the craziest thing. I have stories for it. I don't know why this side looks less puffy than the other side. Me and my girl Bubbly we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do for my 19th birthday. I was just like, let's just go to a club, like, you know, let's just go turn up, go to a club, shake our little butts, like, you know, let's go enjoy, let's go have fun. And we agreed. So we're like, okay, in Canada, when you're 19, you're finally legal. You can go buy a drink, buy drinks at the bar, you're finally able to order a drink, right? We went to LCBO, which is a liquor store out here. We got a bottle of apple Smirnoff, just a small little bottle. I'll put a little picture of me back when I was 19 years old for my 19th birthday. And yeah, so pretty much we're like, we're gonna go to a club, we're gonna pre-drink at her house, and then when we get closer to the club, like, we'll maybe drink some more or yeah, figure out the night pretty much, right? If anyone knows me, my biggest phobia is fucking centipedes, okay? I'm here telling my story right now, and my friend sent me a picture of a centipede that she killed in her apartment. Why is she sending me a picture of her centipede in her apartment when I'm recording a video? Now I'm so thrown off, but it's okay. I'm gonna continue with the story. I can't even right now. I can't. Anyways, so me and Bubbly, for my 19th birthday, I planned on going to a club for my birthday because, I don't know, I couldn't think of anything else. I'm like, let's just go to a club. Let's just go out to go dance, you know? Let's go have fun. Let's turn up, right? So I remember we were at her house and we went to LCBO beforehand and we had purchased a bottle of apple Smirnoff. When you're 19 in Canada, you're legally able to buy a drink. You can go to the bar and order a drink. You're finally able to drink now, right? Even though I've been drinking before that. So we bought a drink from LCBO and then we went back to her place and we were just pre-drinking there. We were taking pictures. I'll insert a photo of me from the past. Pre-drinking at her house, and then we're like, okay, let's just go now. So when we left now, we hopped on the bus and then we hopped on the train. I remember being so wavy on the train. I'm just like, oh my God, like we're so lit before even getting there. And we brought the apple Smirnoff with us because it wasn't finished yet. So we're like, when we get off the train, we're gonna go to an alley and fucking drink the rest of the alcohol, right? So we did that. And when we're getting to the club now, I was so worried. I'm just like, OMG, like I am so wasted right now. Like I feel so drunk. I feel so dizzy. I'm just like, oh my God, like how are we gonna get in? Like, how are we gonna get in? How am I gonna get in the club this wasted? So when I got to the door, I just played it off completely like as if I was sober, trying to act normal. I get inside, I paid for my ticket pretty much to get in. They gave us like a little ticket so that when we go to the next person, we hand it over to them to show our proof of payment, I guess. So I remember at the time I got a ticket from the guy and I walked through, and then when it was time to show the ticket to the girl, I realized I don't have my ticket. And I'm like, oh hell no, like no way am I this drunk and I'm losing the ticket at the door. I'm like, I'm never gonna get into this club. Like I just turned 19, like night's already done, like, you know? But I don't know, God willing, I just looked down and I seen a ticket, but when I looked at it, it wasn't my ticket. That was not my number that I had on my regular ticket. It was someone else's, I guess. Maybe they dropped it, I don't know. So I picked it up and I'm just like, oh lit, gave it to the lady, she seen it, and we made our move in. And so when we got into the club now, I remember it was just a nice club. Like it was a 2-level, yeah, it was 2 stories. It was 2 levels to the club. And I remember there was like an outdoor area And then like, yeah, there was like a nice dance floor. There's a bar there. There was a nice area that you could just like sit on the side, like a nice lounge. It was really nice. And then when you go upstairs, I guess that was more of like the louder music, the dancehall reggae, like, you know what I mean? More of like, more action going on upstairs. Downstairs, there was still action. It was still good music, but maybe it was more like EDM. So I'm gonna say it's EDM that was downstairs with a mixture of like reggaeton, like, you know, reggaeton. That's how you say it. Anyways, but yeah. So I remember we were downstairs, we were dancing, like, you know, good tunes were on that night. I'm just like, okay, like, you know, we're wavy already. We're just like, okay, this is lit. We're twerking, like we both had our hands on the counter. We're just like, you know, dancing and stuff like that. Dancing the whole night, pretty much. I remember I felt someone come behind me and I'm just like, oh, like what guy is this, you know? Still dancing. But I realized it was a girl. I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know. But then I realized it's a girl that I knew. I'm like, oh, hey, like, you know, what's up? She was with a girl, the next girl that she was with. And we were all just talking, whatever. And then she was like, oh, like, let's go upstairs, you know? Like, upstairs is more lit. Like, you know, they're playing better music upstairs. So I'm like, okay. So we go upstairs now to the second floor of the club. And I'm looking around and I'm just like, okay, there's a nice big bar. There's a lot of people upstairs. It's really crowded upstairs. It's a mixture of people. So different mixtures of everybody. I love clubs like that, like have like different races and everybody, like, you know, everyone's just different. Everyone's just having a good time together and whatever. So I'm looking around and I also see like there's poles and there's stripper poles. There's no strippers, but there's only poles there, right? So people can dance on them. They can do whatever they want freely on the poles, right? So I remember we're there and we're at the bar and there's so much men around and they're all coming up to me and Bubbly, offering us drinks, like they're buying us drinks. So I'm like, what? I'm not turning down those drinks, not turning down those shots. So we got a shot here, shot of Patron here, shot of this here, and I'm just getting wavier and wavier. I'm just like, oh my God, like this club is turned up, like, you know, this club is lit. So I remember there was a time where I was looking at the girls on the pole, like I just seen a few girls dancing on it, and I remember going around to it. And I'm just like, okay. I remember Broke It Down came on and I'm just like, what? I'm like, I'm so surprised that this is playing right now. I don't know why, but it came on and I just lost it. So at the time I was wearing, you guys seen it in the picture, I was wearing my white top with my shorts and I was wearing my heels. I don't know who possessed me to go on the floor and just started breaking it down on the floor. Like I was just twerking on the floor. Didn't care. When I got up, I felt so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, Renee, like, what are you doing on the ground? I can't even with myself. I was too much back then. But yeah. So after that, guys were still buying us drinks. Bubbly was she was taking shots as well. We were all taking shots, like me and like all these other guys, different men, just offering us drinks, taking shots. I remember my sister would always tell me, like, you know, watch out for your drinks. Make sure you don't leave your drinks down. Make sure like no one hands over a drink to you. Make sure like, you know, everything is safe. And I always made sure that I was super wavy, but I was still aware. Like I still like, you know, while I'm taking shots, it's like, okay, Renee, don't take too many shots. Know your limit. Or like, you know, watch out for your drink, stuff like that. I always had that mindset whenever I was drinking, whenever I go out, right? So yeah. So then there was a time where I was looking at the girls on the pole again. I went up to them and I was just like, okay, like there's some girls on the pole and like she's actually doing her thing. She's going around so nicely and I'm like, okay. And then I remember like just slapping her ass. So I'm just like, okay, like, you know, like turning her up pretty much. And that was that. I walked away a little bit and all I felt was a tap on my shoulder. And I looked back and then the girl was like, come here. And I'm just like, oh, okay, come where? Like, you know, I'm walking up to her and then she grabs my face towards her. And then we started making out. At first, I was a little bit hesitant because I honestly was not attracted to girls like that at the time. It was more just like, you know, I think girls are pretty and that's it, like, you know. But she grabbed my face and we started making out. In the moment, I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, Renee, like, you're making out with a girl right now. Like, you know, a female. Like, you know, you're making out with a girl right now. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, but I continued doing it. It was fine. It only lasted like a few seconds. And then when I came off, I looked at Bubbly and she's just like, oh, like, you know, like, oh my God. And then whatever. So the reason why we even stopped was because some next girl, she tapped me when we were kissing. And then she's like, that's my fiance. That's my fiance. And I'm like, oh, like, you know, whatever. That's your fiance. Like, you know, I just left it. I'm like, oh, okay, shit. Like, you know, and it wasn't anything. Like, you know, she was laughing. They were all laughing. It was a good time. I'm just like, okay. So I remember after that, nothing happened with that girl. Like, she never came back to me or anything like that. It was just interesting to like go through that. I'm like, I've never been in a situation where I'm kissing a girl, like, you know. And later on during the night, it was a good time. We went back downstairs and we went outside to like where they smoke, like that little area in the club where you can go outside, and they have like a little spot where you can go smoke. And Bubbly, she was outside throwing up in that little corner of the club, and I'm just like, oh my god. And I remember the securities came and they're like, oh, is she vomiting? And then they're like, oh, you guys have to go outside or whatever. If she's gonna be vomiting, then you guys can't be in here. And I'm just like, oh my god, like we've only been here for like an hour for my 19th birthday. We've only been here for an hour and Bubbly is vomiting already. I'm just like, OMG, like I can't even. We ended up going in front of the club and Bubbly ended up throwing up some more. And I'm like, Bubbly, like, oh my god, like how do you feel? Do you feel like we could go back into the club? Because they did say if she's like, you know, when she feels better, we can go back into the club. And that's fine. Like, you know, there was no issue there. As long as she's not sick, then we can go back into the club. But Bubbly at the time, she was just so wavy. She was throwing up. She felt sick. She was just out of it. Like, she was wasted. She was more wasted than me. Like, I was wasted too, but it's like, you know, when I seen her throwing up and stuff, I had to click into it. I'm just like, okay, now I have to take care of her. And I remember there was like these guys in front of the club. Sorry, they're in front of the club in their car. And at the time we were trying to find a way how we're gonna get home. We're just like, oh, stranded out here again. Like I have so many stranded stories. Like it's not even funny. So many stories of me being stranded, all of us being stranded. Like, oh my God. I have more story times for that. But pretty much, we seen the guys in the car and they spotted us and they're like, oh, like, do you guys need a ride home? We're like, oh, really? Like, you know, can you drop us to here? And then he's like, yeah, I can drop you guys home, but only if you guys do something for me. And I'm just like, okay. Bubbly hopped into the car. Oh my God, I keep saying her name. Bubbly had gone into the car after he had told us that he could bring us home. So then I hopped in as well after Bubbly. So I'm like, okay, so what do you want? Like, you know, like, what do you mean? What do you want? And then he was pretty much saying like, oh, you know, like, do you guys give head? And I'm just like, what? I'm like, okay, Bubbly, let's go. Like, it's not that serious, you know? I'm not giving no man head to come bring me home. It's never, ever that serious. So I'm like, Bubbly, let's go. Like, no, let's get out the man's car. Bubbly at the time was like, no, let's stay. Da, 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 da. If I was a bad friend, I could have left Bubbly right there. I could have been like, you know what, fuck it. Bye, I'm gonna go back in the club, go enjoy my night. You can go with him. Like, you know, she was so drunk that she wasn't even thinking. I had to think for her while I was still drunk. So it was just like, oh, she's killing my vibe right now. Like, it's killing my buzz. But I was still taking care of her. So I'm like, Bubbly, no. I pretty much dragged her out of the car. And then I told the man to dip. Like, you know, we're not going into your car. We're not coming with you anywhere. Like, no, we're not giving you head for nothing. No, we're okay. We'll find our way home. So pretty much we got out of the car and then he drove off. And me and Bubbly were sitting there like, oh my God, like, what the hell? How are we gonna get home? And to be honest, till this day, I don't even know how we got home, but that night was just crazy, you know? The whole point was like, you know, me and this girl made out and it was just like, no. That was the beginning of me like becoming a little bit curious. So I'm open-minded. I'm an open-minded person. I don't turn things down. I give it a chance, at least once. You know what I mean? So the fact that I even opened up and kissed another girl, it was just so interesting to me. I'm just like, you know, like where can I go with this? Like, how far can I go with this? You know, what else? What's next? Later on in life, I spoke about my friend No Filter before in another story. No Filter, during these times, it was still around the same time, being 19 years old, she was attracted to me. And I never understood it. I'm just like, what do you mean she's attracted to me? Like, Bubbly would tell me different things like, oh, No Filter likes you and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, No Filter, she did date one of my other friends. I don't know what to call her. Let's just call her, I'm going to call my next friend Country because she grew up in the country pretty much. Okay, so No Filter and Country, back then they dated each other. So I remember when they were dating, I was like super curious. I'm like, okay, so like, you know, asking them questions like, so what do you guys do? Like, you know, you guys are in a relationship, like what do you guys do? You know, and they're pretty much telling me the different insights and stuff that they do, and I was just so interested. I'm just like, okay, different things will go down. Like we never I don't know if it's too much information. I don't know if it's too much TMI, but you know, I was just curious. I don't know, them dating and then her being attracted to me, it just had me super curious. And I was just like, you know, yeah. I'm not gonna continue anything else. I'm gonna continue with that into another story time. But for now, that's pretty much the end of my story time. The time that I made out with a girl for the first time. Did I like it? Yes or no? I did like it. It was kind of interesting. It was kind of different because, like, you know, it's a girl. But yeah, I have other stories about females. Yeah, I have other stories that I'll tell you guys in my future story times. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Please tap there, tap here, you know what to do. You know what to do. It's right there on your screen. All right, thank you guys so much otherwise, and I will be back with another story time very, very soon. All right, thank you guys so much. Bye.